Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. It is so good to be with you once again today, and here we are at the beautiful Tembe Elephant Park in Maputoland, Northern KwaZulu-Natal, with none other than an elephant. Now remember everyone that this is of course a live and interactive show, so please do make sure that you chat to me. Say hello, let me know who you are, where you're watching from, maybe what you're hoping to see today. And you can do so via the Wild Earth website or the app. You can also chat to us via the YouTube chat stream, or you can join the conversation on X using the hashtag Wild Earth. Otherwise, you can always WhatsApp us. Just simply add the WhatsApp number that will be shown to you shortly on your mobile device, and then you can send through your comments and questions that way. Joanne, hello to you. Happy Monday. It's good to have you on board, and it's wonderful to be watching these elephants here around the waterhole. It does seem that the spot where the elephants have been doing a lot of splashing about is slowly drying up. You can see one there sort of in the middle. He definitely had some sort of a swim today. You can see how much darker he is. Just sort of the ridge of his back didn't manage to get wet. Two of the others there having a drink. Looks like a beautiful day in northern KZN today. Sandy, you're joining us from Tennessee. That's awesome. Very good to have you. And Ari, you are from the Netherlands. Also good to have you on board today. These two that we're looking at here look like just about the age where you might see them start to knock tusks a little bit. Oh, that one has a collar. Interesting. Most likely part of a research project. Picasso, you are very much local to the Lowveld area. Welcome to the show. Good to have you with us. You want to know if elephant babies have teething problems? Oh, I wonder. I'm not sure. I can imagine that when those teeth start emerging, that they might get itchy gums. I don't know if they sort of get a runny tummy or have any other issues that human babies deal with, but I'm sure they might sort of want to gnaw at something while the teeth come through the gums.
This unfolds in front of you.
My full name is Mpho Tikani. Best part of my job is coming to see nature. Worst part of my job is logging. That's the worst thing ever, because you have to log amount of footage. You sit in front of that computer and you think of deleting the footage, but no, they need the footage. If I want a camel, probably a soccer player. I know some people don't believe me, but I'm very good, and I'm very fast.
Captain, you want to know how old these Ellies are, in my opinion. It's difficult to say, Captain. It really does depend, but we can give you a sort of an outline. The fact that all of these bulls are away from the herd means that they are sort of older than, I would say, at least 10 to 15 years when they first sort of start to move off. But the ones that we're looking at right now, I would say they look about 20 or so. 20, 25 max. There were one or two that I think were late teens earlier. And then there are some, which I can't see now, that maybe there was one that was a little bit over 30. And that's just based on their size, sort of the shape of their head, how long and thick their tusks are as well. But these boys at the moment, I would say between 20 to 25 years old. Well, I believe there is a Bless Bucket Founders, so let's head over there. Well, I believe the Bless Bucket Founders has moved off, so let's head to an impala that's at Old Domio. Oh, wow. What a pretty scene here, always. It looks like this male is chasing some females around in his little harem. Now, East Africa doesn't experience the same sort of rut like Southern Africa does. We're coming to the end of that now. Most of the ewes would be impregnated, and we're waiting now for summer to arrive. But they sort of have a continuous rut in East Africa. And I think that is due to the availability of resources throughout the year, very lush and green, lots of water around. And so the males do compete, but it's not as intense as what we see in Southern Africa. I just think impalas are such beautiful antelopes, especially their coloration with this whole scene that we have here in front of us. Jean, there are actually quite a few lesser known species that I think more attention should be paid to. It's difficult to single out just one. Perhaps one of the species that is experiencing the most strife that we should be paying more attention to and raising more awareness about is the pangolin. It's the most highly trafficked animal in the world, and even more than rhino horn. Its scales are sought after, and it is critically endangered. There's 8 pangolin species worldwide, 4 in Asia and 4 in Africa, and it's one of those things that I think more people should be aware of. Oh, I do apologize. We've come over to Tau now. As I was saying, it's something that, for those of us who are quite familiar with the bush and, know quite a bit about the animals and things, a pangolin is like, oh, everyone knows what a pangolin is. But there are many, many, many people who love wildlife or Africa or even Asia or nature, but don't necessarily know about pangolins and about the struggle that they face. It's something that I personally wish that, I hope to be more involved in as well when it comes to pangolin research as well as conservation and supporting their sort of plight and also appreciating them so much. They are such amazing little animals, so understated, let me put it that way. They have the sweetest faces, I think, and just stay out of everyone's way and do their thing, and they definitely don't deserve to be poached the way they are.
We have just had our efforts paid off.
Well, there we have a giraffe that's popped out here at Tao, staring off into the distance. I wonder if it's not making its way to drink, but doing so very slowly, as giraffes often do. Karen, you say pangolins are one of your favorite animals. Me too. Absolutely no doubt about it. There's something very, very special about them. I've been lucky enough to see one out in the wild before, and I think, I just wish there was more of them and that we could show them more through our shows as well, so that we can, talk more about them and see more signs of them. But it is something that there are so few to be able to do that. But it's great to have platforms like this where we can talk about it. Jinx, you say yes to pangolins. They're so gentle and so vulnerable. They do have a very gentle way about them, as do giraffes, I find. Greg, you say, does the direction the giraffe's face help you when you are tracking sometimes? Yes, it does, Greg, if they exhibit certain behavior. So it is when they do a particular type of facing, when they simply stand and stare. And what is even more helpful is when there's multiple giraffes doing the same thing. It confirms that there's something there. I like to say giraffes don't have an alarm call, they have an alarm stare. And so the most important thing is to see that they're not ruminating. So you can see at the moment this giraffe is chewing, but when they're completely on, just sort of transfixed on one spot, then you know that something's there that they're looking at. And most of the time it is a predator. you can see on this particular individual that it is a male. And even though we can't see between his back legs at the moment or on his belly, if you look on top of his horns, they're quite worn away and bald, telling us that this is a male giraffe. Definitely enjoying his rumination at the moment. Greg, you want to know if the counter shading on the impala and other antelopes for camouflage or heat reflection. So when it comes to that shading we're seeing on these impalas, it is about camouflage. The sort of darker, sort of like an ombre, I suppose, a fading from dark to light. Darker colors tend to absorb heat more, so with the shading, generally hot on the back, cooler on the belly, but all in all, the purpose of that coloration is about being able to blend in. Okay, well, we're going to leave Tau and head over to Roy's Dam to see what's happening over there. Oh, wonderful. An elephant has arrived to drink. I love taking the time to enjoy these elephants like this, especially when one comes to have such a peaceful drink at the waterhole. Okay, well, it sounds like the cubs are getting all cute at the Endangered Species Centre, so let's head over to Tammy. It looks like Mom has been doing some grooming and they formed a little bit of a cuddle puddle. Yeah, isn't this just adorable? I have loved the fact that we had access to this particular camera and being able to see these little ones grow. And this is a really cool opportunity to look at her belly as well. Those suckle marks where the little ones have been drinking from. We often talk about suckle marks when it comes to cats, especially leopards and lions, the ones we see the most often on our live drives. And it's because of where the cubs are feeding from. The fur around the swollen teat gets quite matted and becomes very clear if she has or has not got cubs. My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. My scariest moment is when it happened twice. The other time I was with Cedric and the other time I was with Steve. And all those times, it was a black mamba. My favorite meal in camp is gonna be burger and chips.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a salesman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on this reserve.
Expecting the unexpected.
Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do?
Because we have another giant of Mabula.
That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
Out here, every wild moment counts, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing.
Incredible.
Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7 and rewind if you want to catch something again. Enjoy behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and early access to travel offers. The best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Well, it looks like these cubs have decided that they are thirsty. And look at the 4 of them trying to get hold of a teat. Mom will have 4 teats, but you can imagine that the 2 that are closest to the ground are a little bit more tricky to find. She might even have 6, to be honest. Yeah, it looks like there's one that's open. But at least now they don't have to lie on top of each other. I can't believe how much cheetahs change in appearance from what they look like as cubs to the adult. I think it must be, of all the cats, one of the most dramatic transformations. Corin, I know they melt my heart as well. I literally want to scoop them all up and give them the biggest cuddle. I'm sure I'll come away with a lot of scratches, but their little faces are just so sweet. Raj, yes, it is baby's lunchtime. And I'm so glad their ears have popped out, because when they were newborn, those ears are sort of flat on the head and they look almost a little bit rodent-like. I'm not sure how best to describe them. Maybe more like a mole than a little cat. Oh, Simba, hello. What a great question. Thank you for sending it through. I'll read it out and then we'll unpack this, because there's quite a lot to talk about. You say, how does the early vulnerability of cheetah cubs influence the species' survival strategies, and what role does maternal behavior play in offsetting those risks? So let's just give a little bit of context for those who may not be too familiar with cheetah in terms of their vulnerabilities. So when we look at the bigger cats that we see, which are lion, leopard, and then cheetah, although not a big cat, still a larger animal size-wise, but not from the same genus, not from the Panthera genus. And in comparison to leopards and lions, cheetahs are sort of the weaker of the 3, and they have their advantages. They built for speed, and you can see their whole sort of body and build. I like to think of it as a long distance runner versus a leopard, which is sort of a 100-meter sprinter. And so their whole body is perfectly adapted to that, to be very lightweight and be able to chase down prey over extensive distances, compared to that of leopards and lions, which are really sprint and ambush predators. But part of that means, of course, that they, as cheetahs, can also be threatened. And the survival rate for cheetah cubs is also, I mean, predators in general is on the lower side, but with cheetah cubs, they often lose them for a lot of different reasons. But that is also offset by the fact that they tend to give birth to larger litters. So I think cheetahs can have up to 8 or 9 cubs. And so if you have 2, 3, or 4 that make it, that is incredibly good in terms of survival rate from a litter. But there's also often times where the whole litter will be taken out. Mom plays a huge role in the survival of, let's say, offsetting the risks, being a cheetah and being the weaker of the cats, and being vulnerable to being killed by a lot of different things, including lions being one of the big ones, leopards as well, having their kills stolen as well. So that can also lead to dying from other circumstances like starvation or just not having the right amount of food to be able to survive. And that subsequently obviously affects the cubs directly, especially when they're so small like this. So the more experience that mom has, the better survival, and that goes for all species. You know, the more times that predators give birth or have the ones to look after, the more experience they have and the better they get. Some are lucky with their first litters to be able to survive, but some learn over time different strategies. One of the main strategies is to keep moving the cubs so that they don't stay in one den site for too long. A big part of being found by other predators that may want to come and kill the cubs is scent. So the more that mom can keep them moving, the more that things like a leopard or lion or a hyena won't pick up on the scent of them. So Simba, I hope that answers your question. There's a lot to consider in that, but I think that the maternal behavior, how good of a mom she is also a big factor for their survival, and generally tends to get better the more experience that she has. Well, while these little ones enjoy mom's milk, let's head over to an elephant that's arrived at Oldonyo. Well, it's always a treat when one of these boys arrive here. Always lovely to listen to the sounds. And just in comparison, we were talking about elephant ages earlier, the ones we were looking at Tembe, and now comparing it to this boy, you can just see that this individual is older. The head is a lot larger, the tusks are thicker, not necessarily longer but thicker. The ears are a little bit more tattered. So I would say he's well into his 30s probably.
Experience the magic of the wild on an unforgettable 4-night safari at Mabula Nature Reserve. Hosted by the one and only Stephen Falconbridge. With Steve as your private guide, you'll gain incredible insights into Africa's wildlife, leaving with knowledge and memories to last a lifetime. Get hands-on with conservation, track elusive cheetahs, and even take to the skies on a hot air balloon ride. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive. South Africa's wild places are closer than you think, because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our FedAir lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, we take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. I really want to film an artwork, and it has been my goal. I'll be just keeping my eyes open. The worst driver is Jem. He's driving. Yeah, you gotta be holding on back in there, yeah? Like in bumps, and I mean, it happens when these things happens when you're actually going for animals usually. But then, yeah, he's driving. Yeah, you gotta put your seatbelt.
Those sounds are just awesome, aren't they? I have sometimes seen when an elephant bull's drinking like this, they even twist their trunk up and catch the drops that fall from their bottom lip. It's something I noticed quite recently, and now I can't stop checking if elephants do that. And I wonder, it's small things like that what purpose does that serve? It's something that I think it does just because it feels like it. One of the little quirks or mannerisms that elephants can have. I don't think it has anything to do with trying to save water or save the last drops, especially when they have a whole pool of it available to them. close-ups of his face, the tusks. Every line really does tell a story when it comes to elephants, and you can see now how he's throwing the water behind his ears. One of the very first places that we notice elephants starting to cool themselves down with water is behind the ear. Lots of blood close to the surface there. The skin is quite thin, of course, and so it provides them with the quickest relief from the heat. And it looks like he is finishing off now and heading away. But wasn't that just wonderful? Always beautiful to see these butterflies as well. Alright, well, we couldn't manage to stay there any longer, but we have come over to a beautiful towel. And wow, just look at the difference in coloration. I mean, we were speaking about how one day, seemingly overnight, it's going to change and start to dry out a lot, and it has happened. Very much this time of year colors in winter. And wow, what a perfect reflection of that elephant on the left. It seems so still today, no wind around in Madikwe. That boy is posing perfectly at the water there. One much shorter tusk than the other one. lovely. Well, while this elephant is splashing itself, let's head over to Founders with a Heron. Beautiful. Well, we've actually seen quite a few black-headed herons around here at Founders. It might be, very well maybe, the same one that keeps popping up, but it is beautiful, isn't it? Busy doing some preening.
I met this remarkable rhino bull, whose name is Samson, last year in a place of extraordinary beauty, history and story. I'm going back there to see him in October, and I think you should come with me to his mysterious mountain fastness.
Every guide in Africa has been on an endless quest for the ultimate bush wear. Until now. Rugged Wear has a huge range of amazing bush gear for every wild situation. In the midday heat, those chilly winter mornings, in the storms of summer. Rugged Wear has the bush kit for every wild occasion. Locally made in South Africa, crafted with precision, stitched with quality.
My full name is Maxine Gaines. Most people that know me really well call me Max. I'm a mum. I have 2 boys. One is 16 years old and one is 14 years old. I'm a very, very proud mama of my 2 boys. I've just always been passionate about leopards. I'm passionate about their conservation. I'm just passionate about everything to do with leopards. I love them.
This is what they call a shambe, a family, a whole herd of elephants.
But nature is beyond amazing. Nature is just everything.
We'd love to hear from you. Questions, comments about biology, Africa, safari.
She's using her tail like a monkey.
Every month, something wild lands in your inbox. From rare sightings and behind-the-scenes secrets to expert stories, seasonal changes, and exclusive travel opportunities, the Wild Earth Journal is your free monthly mailer, packed with the magic of the wild straight from the field. It's fun, it's free, it's full of surprises. Sign up now on the Wild Earth website.
Well, I have been watching this heron do its preening, and it's quite incredible how much effort birds put into making sure their feathers are in top condition. And what they're doing there, if you see what it's doing with its beak, is actually pulling. So sometimes they get rid of loose feathers that need to come out, but it's realigning the feather, the individual little plumes, I think they're called plumes of the feather. So under a microscope, which I've been looking for a feather to put under my microscope actually out on drive, but if you look closely, you can even use a pair of binoculars that's upside down, and it magnifies whatever you're looking at. You can see that the feather, the little strands that make up the feather, hook into one another, almost like a zip. And what the bird is doing is realigning them also. It makes a completely smooth edge as well as completely sealed feather, which is very important to remain waterproof, as well as applying then the preening oil to those feathers as well. Paula, this is your favorite bird. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad we can show it to you. It really is quite beautiful. I mean, those colors are, the shading and everything is really quite striking. Oh, something's on its way to the water. There's a warthog. Okay, well, while this heron continues its very intense grooming, let's see what's happening at Otoño. Here's a giraffe. It looks like it's a little bit shy. Maybe just found a delicious tree to eat. But still beautiful to look at all its patterns on its coat. Oh, that sounds like maybe some starlings. But just look at those patterns. I find that the Maasai giraffe, which is the species that we find here in East Africa, have quite different pattern shapes in comparison to the Southern African species. They're a little bit more sort of, how to describe it really? Not really feathery, but there's more sort of juts in them, in and out of the blotches, more patches of the lighter colouring in between.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
Full name is Maxine Gaines. Best part of the job, gosh, I just love everything about guiding. I love being able to observe animal behavior and animals behaving naturally. So for me, that's by far the best part of the job. And so what we do here at Wild Earth is develop those connections with the people that are viewing, and maybe just light a little spark that says, you know what, I want to be involved in protecting this ecosystem.
Okay, apparently some elephants have arrived at Simbavati, so let's head over there. Oh wow, beautiful. It seems like it's the time for elephants to drink at the moment. It looks like this one has waded all the way in, cooling off its feet as well. Also, the same behavior that we saw in Kenya, and it just goes to show African elephants are the same everywhere, cooling off behind those ears first when they want to start spraying themselves with water. I find it fascinating that elephants will move around waterholes to different points, as though the water is going to taste different in different places. He's just getting one last cool down splash before I think he heads off to feed in the thickets. Okay, well, hello, there's another elephant. I think we might have some more maybe arriving. Well, while we wait for them to come down, let's head over to Tau. Wow, how beautiful is this? Still actually quite green on this side of the waterhole compared to where we were looking earlier. And a gorgeous elephant bull that's just hanging out in the sun. Lots of zebra, wildebeest, impala in the background. And a whole flock of Egyptian geese here in front of us, which I think is the clutch that was brooded this year. Lots of, basically one family, 2 adults, and now fledging chicks. Don't even think we can call them chicks anymore. Well, as we enter into the last half an hour of the show, remember that you can still chat to me and send through any comments and questions that you may have along the way. It's always nice to talk to those watching, and perhaps you have something on your mind. Doesn't necessarily have to be about what's on screen. I wonder if he's making his way towards the waterhole now. If he's going to chase those geese or not be worried about them. Not bothered too much. Oh, that little one better get out the way though. Oh, how beautiful is this? We have been spoiled with elephant bulls drinking today. Wow. Rosalind, hello to you. Welcome. Nice to hear from you. I do hope that you have been relaxing and enjoying all the sights and sounds of the waterhole today.
Join me, Andrew Wistenholm, for an indescribable 6-night stay in the beautiful Albany of the Eastern Cape at Amakhala Game Reserve. Now, this trip is going to be action-packed with a lot of storytelling, adventure, as well as the opportunity to make everlasting memories. We'll be exploring the best of Amakhala by staying at 2 luxury lodges, which will be the perfect blend of comfort as well as wilderness. Book your spot today and let's get ready to explore the wild beauty of Amakhala.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Hyenas love bathing.
Well, it seems like he just had a little splash and maybe a sip of water and decided to carry on eating. But I suppose when you're an elephant, why not? And if you can feed around the water, you can just pop down to the water's edge whenever you need to. Dark May Love, it is such a beautiful elephant, isn't it? it's been the day of beautiful Ellies today. Petula, hello. You want to know, do elephants have a hole where the liquid is dropping out when they're in must? So yes, they do. It's basically their penile sheath. So the same place where they urinate from is where that musty liquid, which is essentially urine that has a very high hormonal content and adjusts chemically to have a very strong scent to it, and actually comes out of the bull's temporal gland as well, which is just situated there behind its eye, sort of on that cheekbone. It is slightly darkened there where it is, and that is where it secretes it from. So leopard lover, elephant menopause, as far as I'm aware, a elephant cow will continue to go into estrus late into life. They don't go through a stage where they sort of menopause as humans do, as far as I know. I'll have to just check the details on that, if there's a time where they become infertile later in life. I haven't heard of that before. Okay, well, while this elephant enjoys his lunch, let's head over to more giraffe at Otoño. Well, it looks like these giraffes are looking out as well. I think that there's a viewing deck close by, and sometimes they do spot a bit of human activity around the lodge that overlooks this waterhole, which is very normal. But it doesn't seem to deter the animals at all. I think they're fairly used to it as well. Just the curious nature of giraffes being what it is. Now, I don't know if this is the exact, I think it is actually. It might be the same giraffe that was hiding from us earlier. Those markings look quite similar. But you can see that all of them have similar markings like I was talking about earlier. They're not quite so smooth, but rather quite jagged. That's the word I was looking for, jagged. Some of them can be quite feathery as well. Kaz, yes, these are some beautiful thorn trees, and they are the umbrella thorn, I believe. The it'll be Vachelia now tortilis. Provide some lovely feed for the giraffes. They enjoy the acacias, quite sweet, the leaves, I believe. Oh wow, look at all of them. I do hope they come to the water.
Wild Earth has launched a special fundraising drive for our non-profit, the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. We're raising funds to source, create, and showcase thousands of untold stories. Stories that spark real action in conservation and social impact. Visit our website to donate and explore how you can become a founding donor.
Do you want to know why impala are the most common antelope we find here in the Kruger National Park? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on Safari Live. Connect with nature.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions.
Animals rely on their senses.
Share your thoughts and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live.
Some of you out there are brilliant at identifying hyenas.
Now, why do you think people have got this huge misunderstanding about reptiles?
Right in front of me there was the face of an astounded buffalo bull.
This is live and interactive, so everybody, if you have any questions and comments, please do send them through and let us know what you'd like.
Well, we're going to keep our eyes on these giraffes. Hopefully they get to the water. If they do, we'll hop back over. But apparently some baboons are arriving at Lentor. We do love a bit of baboon action, don't we, on the Live at the Waterhole show. And here a troop is arriving, as well as a hammerkop that is just to the right. Oh, look, there's a little one. I love when they sit on the back. Oh, Jan, yes. Your buddies, the baboons. So entertaining. Mindy, it's a great screenshot. I mean, earlier when they were all around, maybe you were referring to the giraffes. That was also very beautiful. But we often get some lovely screenshots from this show. I find it interesting that the one leans right over to drink just next to the other one. Like, I would seriously have some personal space problems with that. This hammerkop is very busy. Looking, I don't know if it's cleaning its beak or looking for something to eat or drinking. Well, now that those baboons have headed off, let's head over for the last few minutes of the show to Oldonyo. Oh, I wonder if if these giraffes are going to come have a drink just before the show ends. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? But either way, it is still very beautiful, the scene here. Darkmane lover, it is a pleasure. I'm so glad that you enjoyed the show today. You as well, Penelope. It has been a special show indeed. We were spoiled with lots of edibles, drinking, and a few birds along the way as well. Well, they're definitely on their way to the water. I don't know. Everybody... Oof, one is coming closer. It's looking like it wants to. Are they going to drink? Are they not? Well, I definitely think they're going to drink. It's just whether we see them in the next 2 minutes. Wildlife lady, I'm so glad that you enjoyed the show today. It was very relaxing, even for myself. Wow, that is so pretty. Oh, I think we might. Here we go. Oh, hooray! Perfect timing. Thank you very much, giraffe. Spas, it's a pleasure. I'm glad that you have also enjoyed the show today. Thank you to everybody for chatting to me, sending through the comments and questions that you did. And I do hope we'll see you all again tomorrow. We'll be back for another live at the waterhole again. Keep well, everyone, and I'll see you then. Goodbye for now.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We're going to discover some real wildlife gems. This is a virtual safari full of beauty, wildlife, and stories. We're going to discover some unique and diverse reserves, spend time with some famous animal characters, and learn some real conservation stories. If you like any of the locations you see on Safari Spotlight, our experts at Wild Earth Travel are standing by to make your dreams come true.